All right, welcome to Talkin' Investing. I am Tom, and as always, this is not financial advice. Today, I want to do the daily Bitcoin and Bitcoin miner update. We talk about the miners all the time on the channel. If that's content that you're interested in, or if you're just new to the channel, please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. And of course, everybody smash the like button. Feel free to leave a comment below. You will see a link in our pinned comment to our free Discord. We're over 500 people. We'd love to have you join us. Let's talk about Bitcoin. I want to start out by looking at the Bitcoin big board of miners, and then we'll go to the chart, and then we'll look at a few miners in specific. Okay, so if we look at the big board, it is completely red today. Other than one stock, which we'll get to, nothing is down drastically. Everything seems to be down 1 or 2 or 3%. DigiHost is down 4%. That's about as bad as it gets. Bitfarms is down 3.55%. A lot of things are heading towards zero, and everything's actually been inching up over the last hour. We're having a little bit of a run. There's still a few hours left in the trading day as I'm recording this, so we'll see where it goes from here. So this board is not the final board. It's starting to look like this board wants to turn green. So hopefully by the time you're watching this, it will have done that. Either way, I think when we get to the chart, you'll see, I think it's pretty good news. The one Bitcoin miner that is getting crushed today is Stronghold, stock ticker SDIG. It is down over 30%. It's been down over 30% pretty much all day. They reported earnings after hours. There was some very disappointing stuff in there. Needless to say, the market did not like it at all, so it's down over 30% today. And it's down to its all-time low. Core Scientific also reported earnings after hours yesterday. That one was received much better. It is down 1% on the day, which is actually one of the better performers, but it's right in the range of everything else. So I think their report came in much more as expected. They had given us a heads up on some of these numbers preliminarily a few weeks ago. So no surprises in that. No big reaction to the Core Scientific. Last one I'll note before we go to the chart, it looks like Wolf is down 6.89% at the moment. So things are bouncing around a little bit. And once again, still all in the red at this moment. We'll check back in at the very end of the video. So for now, let's go to the Bitcoin chart. I want to go to the Bitcoin chart on the 15-minute time frame. So each one of these candles is 15 minutes. This orange line right here is where Bitcoin was when the equity markets closed yesterday. So when the miners closed, this is where Bitcoin was at. So you can see we've been below that ever since. However, not dramatically below that. We did bounce off of about 46,500, and that was down, almost 2.5%. But at the moment, we've been trending up, and we're very near. The last few candles are, just right at the line. So we're almost even on the day right now today. However, the Bitcoin miners are all red. They are all pulling back. I think so. So once again, it's not a great reaction from the miners versus what Bitcoin is doing, because Bitcoin is virtually flat on the day. So Bitcoin's trending back down over the last few minutes, and this is the way it's been going all day, up and down and up and down. We did just get almost all the way exactly back to where we were yesterday, and now we're pulling back a little bit. So we'll see what the last few hours of the day bring. Okay, this is the same chart, but Bitcoin on the 4-hour time frame. So each one of these candles represents 4 hours. So this chart, you're basically looking at the last 2 weeks. So you can see, we've had some really good momentum the last few weeks. This has been going up consistently for 2 straight weeks now. This was the price of Bitcoin on January 2nd, 2022. This is the high point of Bitcoin in the year 2022. So we're struggling to just break out and get a new 2022 high, which by no means is Bitcoin's all-time high. It would just be the next step to confirm that the bull run is continuing. So that's what I'm looking for. On this 4-hour time frame, we'd like to close a candle above this green line. It is very encouraging that we are hanging out at this line. We've been going pretty much straight up for 2 weeks. I was expecting maybe even a little bit more of a pullback than this, possibly retesting this line and turning it into support. But at the moment, it doesn't look like that's what's happening. So I'd like to keep the pressure on. Let's see Bitcoin keep the pressure on this line right here and see if we can cross and close a 4-hour candle and then maybe a daily candle above this line. Okay, this is the Bitcoin chart on the 1-day time frame. So each one of these candles represents 1 day. So you can see if we can break out of that, next stop is like 52,000. That's the next significant line of resistance. If this finishes green, this will be the 9th green day in a row. That is a very, very strong run for Bitcoin. And it's been fairly consistent with this one very big day right here. And that was on March 27th. You'll see the RSI on the 4-hour chart, we spent from March 27th and March 28th somewhere around 80 to 85 on the RSI on the 4-hour time chart. So that was very high. It was overbought, but we had some great momentum, so we were able to maintain that for a while. Well, you can see we've pulled all the way back, and today we bottomed out at 60, and we're now coming up on 65. So to me, it looks like we've pulled back, we've kind of reset this oscillator, and we stand a chance of taking another run up here. If I look at the MACD, it's doing the same thing. You can see we had a crossover. The histogram went from green to red, but it seems to have bottomed out here, and it's now moving back upwards. So I think there's a good chance that on the 4-hour time frame, we could see this momentum has just shifted, and I'm looking to have a positive crossover on the MACD maybe sometime tonight and start the next little bull run, one of these little runs right here. Okay, let's take a look at a few of the miners in specific. I want to start with Marathon Digital Holding. Marathon has had a nice run up over the last month, and we'll measure that in a minute. But what I want to show you for starters is we are nowhere near where Marathon was trading at its highs. So I just want to show a couple of price targets. Okay, the first place I want to go back to is December 3rd. So if you watch the channel, you know I usually go back to December 3rd. That was the day of the Bitcoin flash crash. That was pretty much the day all the Bitcoin miners started their downward spiral. So if Marathon could get back to where it was just on December 3rd, and Bitcoin was trading at about $52,000 on December 3rd, then that would be a 64% increase in the price of Marathon stock. Now remember, they have like 70,000 machines that they are sitting on that they need to get plugged in. At some point, I have to believe that is going to happen. Their exahash rate is going to rise dramatically. And so I see this as a very realistic price target for the next 3 or 4 months. Marathon on November 9th, which was the same day as Bitcoin hit its all-time high, Marathon hit its all-time high. And I will tell you, Marathon ran up way past where all the other miners went. So it had the biggest run up out of all the miners. So it ran up to $83. So if Bitcoin were to go on a long-term bull run and retest its highs, and Marathon gets all these machines plugged in, it's certainly not out of the question for them to get back to their November highs. And that would be a 173% increase in the price of their stock. I just wanted to zoom in and show you that Marathon's been behaving pretty well for the last few months. Like I said, it bottomed out on January 24th. It bottomed out again on February 24th. And that was true for almost all of the Bitcoin mining stocks. We had a dip here in the middle of March, but since then, over the last 2 weeks, since this bottom, Marathon's up 56%. So that is a healthy run up, but as we just saw, there is a lot more upside to go. So again, this is not financial advice. Please do your own due diligence. I'm showing you some potential price targets that I have in mind and some of the progress Marathon's made, but you guys got to make your own buying decision. Okay, this is Stronghold. I'm going to start zoomed out. Stronghold really just started their operations. So they were at their all-time high back in November 4th, which was just a few days before Bitcoin hit its all-time high. That may have been a bubble because, it quickly by January 5th, by the beginning of this year, so just 2 months later, it went from $35 down to $14, which I think is a more realistic high to consider than this high. This was very much probably a bubble. Not to say that it can't ever get back there, but I will tell you today it's down 30%, and that's what I want to get into. I did do a video earlier today. It's just a minute and a half long. If you want to watch that video and do me a favor, if that video gets 75 likes, I'm going to do a deep dive on Stronghold. I just want to make sure there's interest enough in that for me to do the video. So this is Stronghold on the daily time frame for this year. This is January 5th. So each one of these candles represents 1 day, and you will see this was yesterday up here. This red line is Stronghold's all-time low, which again, it hit on January 24th like most of the other Bitcoin miners did. Well, they released earnings yesterday, and they are now below their previous all-time low. They're down over 30% on the day. So I just want to put this on everyone's radar. And again, you can check out my other quick video if you want to see what's going on there. Okay, I'm just going to end on the Bitcoin 15-minute time frame, and you'll see we had a bunch of green 15-minute candles getting all the way back up to almost exactly where we closed the day yesterday. Now we're having a few red candles. There is still a few hours left in the trading day, so it's very hard to say. The big board is still completely red from top to bottom. So we'll see if that can turn around, or if it's just going to be, if this is one of those consolidation days where Bitcoin pulls back a little, the Bitcoin miners pull back a little. But all in all, I do think there's good reason to believe we will continue the bull run. So those are my thoughts on Bitcoin and the Bitcoin miners. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.